Thank you for expressing your interest in office work automation. This is an ArkVital presentation, and I hope you enjoy it. In this presentation, we'll talk about office work automation. It can be split into two big ideas: data and clicking. Data. Automating report creation. Are your Excel files really big? Are the VLOOKUPs too much for your computer to handle? And number two, are you doing too many repetitive tasks? In this presentation, I will try to approach these problems from the perspective of humans build and robots do. When is it worth approaching such a problem with automation? Well, you have to focus yourself on emotion, reality, complexity, and communication. I highlighted emotion because you have to have an emotional reason to get this process automated. Hate and anger is good. Pressure to do other things, or maybe because you're secretly very, very lazy. Step 2. You don't want to automate for no reason. You want to make sure that you're spending at least 4 to 8 hours a week doing the task. That creates the best return on your time investment. Step 3 is complexity. Is there a standardized process in place, or do you have to standardize it yourself? If there's not enough standards, it's not worth automating. But if a good standard can be created or already exists, this is the perfect time to automate. Step 4 is communication. Are you relying on other people in the process, or is this process all dependent on you? If it's all dependent on you, great candidate for automation. Trusting other people is great too, but you have to make sure that everybody's ideas of what's going on can be synchronized. So let's create this magic pill where we're trying to combine data and clicking automation. And now really getting into the meat of this presentation. To be good at automation of office work, you need to know SQL to query your data. You need to know Power BI to finish up cleaning up the data and presenting it inside Excel. And then Python. If you want to do data analysis with Python, you can too. But here I'm focusing on using it to click buttons on the screen. And then web, that allows you to run a small page for your company to communicate all the changes. Let's do a small training. This one will be based on data. So here we have an Excel file. You've seen it a million times before, but maybe never used these functions. This is a function called getData. We launch Power Query Editor, and we go to New Source, File, Text CSV. Here I want to take data for gas prices per month. It loaded our CSV file, and we click OK. We then load another CSV file with gold prices per month. Now that we have these two data sets available, let's try to merge them. We're going to combine them and merge these queries as new: gas and gold. We're going to merge them by column month and date. Those are the same type of columns. We're going to make sure to change the prices to give them distinct names, because the columns are called price in both cases. So this is gas price. Now we're expanding gold to see gold prices for the exact same month. These two data sets are now combined. Let's rename them as gas versus gold. Great. So now that we have this done, we can load it to oh, actually no, before we load it to, we can create a custom column. That's also one of the functionalities available to us. We're going to create a column called percentage difference and create a formula that allows us to compare the two columns for gas price and gold price by double clicking it. Well, That could be a simple formula, but we can try a more complex one. Where we compare the difference between prices over the total price for both. And it will be represented as a percentage. That's just a random calculation that we can do. Great. Now that that's done, let's load it into our Excel file. If you click close and load, it will just load it in. But we want to specify how we're going to load the data in. Here, we're going to deliberately make a mistake of selecting put every data that you have into a new worksheet. You see here it creates 4 new worksheets. Actually 3 new worksheets for gas, gold, and gas versus gold. Now that's too much. Technically, gas file, we don't need to see that data. We just want to keep it in mind. And that's exactly what we're doing here. We're loading to only create connection, meaning that only connection is created. And we can delete these sheets as we don't need them anymore. So there you go. That's our sheet of gas versus gold. That's done. Now we're looking at these prices. What if we wanted to play with currencies as well? And what if we wanted to be a live updatable data? Well, there exists a website connection, web link connection that we can use. xe.com. It has currencies that Power BI can load in from the internet and then use. So then, now that we click OK, it offers us multiple things to get data from. There's these live currencies to directly do a conversion, some other data, and something they call table 0. That seems like more what we want. It's all the currencies combined, so we select that, and we only create a connection. There you go. You see, it's not loaded into the report. It just says connection only. We can look what's going on inside. And now that we created it as a connection only, perhaps we want to make it as a loaded to the sheet connection. So that's when we change it back to table, put it in a new worksheet, and there you go. Let's rename it into currencies or currency rates. Great. So this is the refresh button that you push. Every time you push, it will try to get the data from the internet or from those CSV files. And if they have changed, it will update your data. And that's what makes it so perfect. Your whole team can be updating files, and all you have to do is click the refresh all button. And that is how you automate data. There's a lot more caveats to it as well. This is just one simple example. There's so many things you can do with this. It's very, very powerful. For the next small training, we're going to look at clicking. This is personally my favorite. Let's automate logging into GitHub. Let's go. So you can do it directly with Python or use this small little program called SikuliX. It's free, made by some really cool guy, clearly, if he's sharing this with the world for free. Now, you can type Python directly in there. There's some challenges with importing libraries, but that's extra information. The important information now is how do we do clicks. You type in click, you take a screenshot of what you want to click. For example, here we want to click something near the refresh button, not the refresh button itself. We do matching preview. We specify the quality of the match, and then we do a target offset, meaning that you don't actually want to click on the image. You want to click nearby. Okay, cool. So that's done. Then we're going to try to type in a delete key. and then we're going to type in github.com. We will click enter so that we can go to the page. So let's try it. Oh, before we try it, we need to save it. Let's give that folder a name. Okay, we saved it. Great. Oh, what's the issue? Okay, we are missing a bracket somewhere. Yeah, there's a bracket missing on line 1. There we go. So now we run it. See, that wasn't me clicking it. That was the machine. Now we're going to click the sign in button. I'm going to close our bracket this time. I'm going to look at sign in, matching preview. Well, it's only matching one button, but just to make sure we bring up the quality of the match. And we don't need to do a target offset, as we need to click right on it. Great, so now I clicked on it to see what's the next step. So we're doing steps in parallel as we're building it. And then I want to click on this big sign in button. And close the bracket as well. So I think our little program is ready. We click run and it will do the task. Done. It's just that simple. There are if statements as well, there's while loops, there's all sorts of things you can do to make the process, to automate a more complex process. And this is just one of the many softwares that allows you to do it, including the full-on pure Python that you can use to do it. So how do I learn the rest of the information? Well, it can be a challenge. There's SQL and Power BI involved, there's the web technologies that always constantly evolve, and then there's Python that has many tutorials online, but what technologies are truly the easiest to use? I'd say YouTube has a lot of great videos that allow you to learn all of these technologies. The fastest way, though, is to pick a project, something at work that you really want to automate. And if you use the methodology we talked about before, the one about with the emotion involved and complexity and trust in other people, and it will allow you to decide whether or not the project is worth doing. 4 to 8 hours, that's how much the project needs to take up of your time for it to be worth it. Now, if you enjoyed this presentation with the small training breaks, let me know. I will try to make more. And if you want to do, what if I want you to do it for me? Well, you can schedule a free call and we can clarify your needs. Deploying can be done as a remote connection where you see me work live with explanations and training, or independently if you prefer to dedicate your time to the end result over the process. Once you see me do it, you can then maintain and improve what we build together. Thank you.